I've been a technology entrepreneur for about 10 years now, and I've been sort of in the game for as long as I can remember. I've always been fascinated by how we can use the power of the mobile and internet technology to really bring about major socioeconomic change on our continent. So the truth, though, is that I actually landed in this space quite by mistake. By the end of high school matric, I knew enough about myself to know that I knew nothing at all. So I asked my parents, please could I take a gap year? But being good, strong African parents, they said, no, you're going to school. So I asked my older brother, who was at UCT at the time, what can I study? Because mom and dad said I have to come to university. And he decided I would pick up a business science, computer science degree. So my first day at my first computer science lecture, I saw code on the wall, and it was quite a terrifying experience. And it dawned on me then that my brother was probably having a big laugh from the practical joke he was playing on me. Needless to say, I spent a lot of that year trying to figure out another plan. I looked at accounting and marketing and auditing and computer and other sort of organizational psychology and all the other subjects in sort of the commerce faculty. But in the end, I decided to stick with computer science because I felt that it was the only subject that actually allowed you to create stuff. I felt that with the other subjects, I was going to spend years after graduating evaluating, analyzing, auditing, assessing all these things that other people were doing. But with computer science, I could actually come up with my own ideas and create solutions. You could literally inject your own imagination into reality. And that was the power for me that computer science represented. And that's how my journey started, surprisingly. The first business I started was called Yego. We essentially developed mobile voice over IP applications, essentially what you call Viber and WhatsApp, but this is back in the day in 2006, when we were still on Windows mobile phones and Symbian phones and the like. So it looked something like that. Naive and bright-eyed, my classmates and I started this company knowing nothing, and we literally Googled our way to success. We taught ourselves everything we needed to know about how to build the technology, how to run a business online. That's the leveling and inclusive power of the internet, that it allowed a young group of kids sitting in an apartment at the bottom of Africa with no social or financial capital to speak of, to create world-class technology. Yego was eventually acquired by Telfree, and that experience has really defined my journey since. I'm now working on my second startup, which is Rekindle Learning. Again, using technology, but this time on how we can use it to address how we build skills, how we build improved learning, how we build capabilities, so that we can actually capture the demographic dividend of this continent. And we're working in both academia and in corporate spaces. In 2005 at UCT, I graduated with a business science degree, like I mentioned. And a key part of my journey is what I want to tell you about today that continues to surprise me. Because less than 8 years later, I was featured on the cover of Forbes Africa alongside Wendy Ackerman of Pick n Pay, as a symbol almost of the group, the next generation of aspirant young African entrepreneurs. And I still ask myself how it all came to be, because I know there were always people smarter than me, people who had more money or knew more people than I did. So when I have to try and understand the purpose of my story or the relevance of my journey, I'm confronted with a simple truth. And that truth is that the way we understand how value and success is created in the world today is changing a lot. It's no longer about having something that nobody else has, but increasingly, it's about questioning the world around you, understanding yourself, knowing who you are, and working with that to your advantage. My decision to be an entrepreneur came from one simple and very, very powerful realization. And I need you to listen to this carefully. That simple realization was that everyone, and absolutely everyone, is winging it. Everyone is still figuring out their life. Everyone is still taking their first shot at life. No one has been to the end and has a bowl of wisdom for us. I often talk to young entrepreneurs who will want to chat about the business ideas that they have, see where they're going, and while I listen out for the business and the viability of their idea, I listen more for their authentic connection to that idea. I ask myself, how has their life journey, the things they know, the people they've met, all the things they've learned along their way, their life exposure, how has it brought them to this moment in time where they are predisposed to this idea? And I ask myself that because it tells me how deeply connected you are to that idea, so that I know the level of insight and thinking you're thinking about in terms of that idea. And it also tells me how committed you will be to actually making that idea happen.